Good morning. As Cody mentioned, I'm the owner of Lucidity, and with the theme being water this month, it's pretty obvious why. That's a pretty obvious connection there. But water has really impacted my life in a very unique way, and probably not in the way that you think that it has. So I'm really excited to share this with y'all. About 4 years ago, I was introduced to floating, and I was really wanting to quiet that little monkey that was in my head that just would not shut up. And I was just looking for a little bit of a respite. Any of you who suffer from ADD or ADHD know what I'm talking about. It's very frustrating, to say the least. So when you can't get a moment of quiet in your head, no matter what you're doing, it's pretty frustrating. It can drive you absolutely crazy. And so I've been looking for something to help me with this for years. And when a friend of mine had found Lucidity, and she posted this on her, let's see here. Oh, wait, wrong way, that way. Boop. This is what she posted on her Facebook page. So she said, "Who has floated? Should I do it? I'm scared I'm going to freak out." I actually hear this a lot. A lot of people are nervous that they're going to freak out whenever they get in the tanks. But for me personally, whenever I saw this, and I'm thinking, holy cow, this is a place where I can get that silence, that peace and quiet that I'm craving. So for me, whenever I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in. I'm totally in. So I called, made an appointment, and went in. Before I get too much further, how many of y'all know what floating is? Okay, so actually I'm pretty shocked. That's awesome. Okay, cool. How many of y'all have actually floated before? Ah, sweet. Okay, great. So for those of you who are not all that familiar with it, basically, here's what we're talking about here. This is a tank, and we've got it's a pool of water. It's about 8 foot long by 4.5 foot wide, and there's only about 10.5 inches of water inside of it. We heat it up to about the temperature of your body, and we throw about 1,000 pounds of Epsom salts in the tank. Yeah, it's a lot of salt. So when you get inside of it, you literally are floating on the surface of the water effortlessly. All of your muscles are able to relax, and when you get in there, it's completely dark and it's totally silent. And like I said, you're floating on the surface. And so at a certain point, you lose where your body ends and the water begins. And at that point, it's just you and your brain floating around in this like vast nothingness. And for me, that was amazing, absolutely amazing. And so we actually have two different kinds. So this is the tank. This is what it looks like on the inside. I don't know if you can really see that. And then for those who are not big fans of getting into an enclosed space, there's also an open pool. And it's the same pool. It's just rather than having a cover over the top, there's walls on 3 sides and then a curtain that you pull across. But essentially, like I said, you're just floating on the surface of the water. And people do this for all sorts of different reasons. Some folks do it to ease muscle aches and pains. Some folks do it like me, just to simply relax and get some peace and quiet. Other folks use it for creative purposes. And I was telling Cody, one of my friends went into this pool right here, and she came out having come up with an entire business plan and designing a logo in 90 minutes. But if you think about it, it kind of blew my mind, and I actually kind of snapped at her. I'm like, "You're supposed to be relaxing in there," and she's like, "No, you don't understand. That was 90 minutes of completely uninterrupted creative time that I haven't had." And that kind of struck me as like, wow, that's pretty cool. I hadn't thought about it in that sense. I'd always thought of it as a place where I went to escape. I didn't look at it as a place where I would go to create. And it certainly most definitely is something a place where you can do that. So the, pardon me for 1 second, I'm going to have to check my notes here. One of the main things that I found after floating, it took me about 3 floats to kind of get it, to kind of like, for everything to kind of click for me. My very first float was, it was in this tank. Let's go back to this image here, just so that you can fully appreciate what this was. Can y'all see that? Let's go back to that one. Can you see? Meh. Oh, well, anyway, I'm not gonna lie. I looked at that and I thought, I don't know if I can do this. It's a big box. It's a big box, and it kind of scared me a little bit. It was a little intimidating, and but I thought, no, I'm really wanting this. I really want to try this out. So I got in, and I remember stepping into that salt water and thinking, okay, I'm gonna, we're gonna relax. We're gonna meditate. And for someone with ADD, that's actually quite comical. It is. I've tried meditating outside of the tank. I did before, and it was pointless. I mean, something as simple as a car driving by would pull me out of it, and I wasn't able to calm down. I kept getting distracted. I kept thinking my dog would come over and put his little head on my leg, and I would just be completely distracted. So I'm thinking in this tank, I'm like, all right, we're going to do this. We're gonna meditate. But I get in and I step into the water and I lay down, and sure enough, you float on the. You just pop right up to the surface of the water like a cork. You don't have to do anything at all. And so I'm laying there like on the top of this water, and I'm like, wow, this is actually kind of cool. I'm like floating on water. I mean, where else have you done that? Where else in your life have you ever felt completely free of gravity? I'd never felt it before. And so I'm laying, I'm like, well, like I'm swishing to one side and then swishing to the other side, and I spin around, and then I get like this nice little eyeball full of salt water in my eyes, and I'm like, party's over. Okay, now we're gonna have to relax now. But I started breathing and slowing everything down, and almost immediately I was able to slip into like a really relaxed state, and which was profound for me. But then I start thinking about, oh my gosh, cool, way to go, Ange. You just got to you're meditating. Good job, You've managed to quiet your mind. And then I realized, no, I'm thinking again. And so I've got to go back and focus on my breathing and try and slow everything down. And then, I'd start thinking like, this is great. I got it. This is a piece of cake, And then I'm thinking about cake and like whether or not the grocery store is going to be open whenever I get done, and I need avocados, and so like your brain just starts going, and then I start beating myself up because, well, why can't I just get my mind to stop? And the thing is that that's not the point. The point is just to calm your mind, not to quiet it. It's just to calm it and to get out of your own way so that you can see what's right in front of you, to be honest. I got out of the tank that first time and was pretty upset with myself for not being able to zen out. But I got in the shower and I realized that for the past 90 minutes I had been gravity free. And so all of my muscles were relaxed. I was completely calm and very, I just felt good, I just felt good. And when that happens, your mind tends to follow suit. And so afterwards, I slept like a baby that night. And then afterwards, I ended up booking another appointment. And then, like I said, it took me about 3 to kind of really like get into it and to learn how to breathe and how to focus and how to calm myself down. And once I did, my whole world changed. I mean, everything changed. I was able to, basically all you're doing is you're training your brain to get from point A to point B, to get from a point of where you've got a lot of anxiety to a point of where you're really calm and relaxed. And it's like an exercise, just like anything else that you do. And when you do it often enough, and it's a practice that you do, you're able to tap into it when you need it. And for example, standing up here in front of a bunch of strangers and talking about personal stuff, like this, incites some nervousness. But you can tap into that because all you're doing is you're training your brain to go from anxiety to calmness. And that can be really very helpful in life. So I did this for about 2.5 years. I floated every other Wednesday at 5:30. I was there. That was my time. You could count on it. If life popped up and I had to cancel an appointment for whatever reason, and if I missed a couple of sessions, I noticed a huge difference in just my ability to handle life, and my ability to just stay calm and sleep soundly, all of that. So I noticed huge negative changes whenever I didn't float, and so I realized just how important it was for me to carry on with this practice. And so after 2.5 years, like Cody was saying, I was heartbroken whenever the guy that had been running the place decided he wanted to go pursue other interests, and he left. And the people that came in afterwards, they were nice enough people. They just didn't have that passion. They didn't understand what they had. They didn't understand what this thing could do for people. And so everything started going downhill, and I got pissed. This was my happy place, and they were killing it. And so I, after 4 cold floats, or where the water was too low, or I can go on forever, but anyway, I got mad. And so I ended up on the phone with the previous owner, and I was saying, hey, what's going on? Can you help me out here? What are you doing to fix this stuff? And he kind of just shrugged his shoulders. He was like, well, if you want to cancel your membership, that's okay. I understand. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is important. This service, this tank, these things are important to people. And it was, I just could see that wasn't his passion. It wasn't, and that's fine. That's okay. But it's mine. And so. At the time I was in a job that I saw as my dream job, and I switched over to take over Lucidity, and it was really a pretty effort. Once I kind of wrapped my head around being a business owner and going out on my own and not having a steady paycheck anymore, and all of those things that go along with owning your own business. Once I wrapped my head around that, it was absolutely a no-brainer. I can't imagine doing anything else. I haven't regretted a single day since. And it is amazing to me to watch other people come through our doors and to have the same kind of experience that I had, and to see their worlds change. And I keep talking about these big, profound changes and everything, but it is literally all you're doing is you're getting out of your own way so that your truth, or your whatever the answers to whatever it is that you're trying to figure out, can just simply surface. And really and truly, all of those are we know what we need deep down inside. Those answers are right there in our gut. We know it. It's just way too easy in this world to pick up our phone, or to go online, or to go for a run, or to go out with some friends, or to eat, or to anything except for facing what it is that we need to face. And so for 90 minutes, all you're doing in that space right there is just relaxing and letting whatever needs to surface. And sometimes it can be something really, cool and fun and fabulous, and you're often like on another planet with, I don't know, jumping jacks or something, I don't know. But it can also be you realizing that you probably shouldn't have treated that person the way that you did. Or maybe you should approach this issue at work in a different way. Maybe, oh, hey, here's a great idea. Maybe you should pursue this, You never really know what's going to come to light. And you really just kind of have to let whatever happens happen. It can be something beautiful and amazing and fun, and it can be something that's a little bit tear-jerking and sad. Sometimes it can be a little bit scary, because there are so many of us who are not comfortable with dealing with our own thoughts and just simply being alone with our own thoughts. And but it's so very important for our own sense of well-being. And so, so for the past year and a half, I've had the beautiful privilege of witnessing this on an almost daily basis, seeing people come out and feeling better and shocked that something as simple as water, that we are all surrounded by on a daily basis. I mean, we are in no short supply of it, you know, but just simply laying in water can have that kind of an impact on you. And yeah, that's that. Do y'all know who Joe Rogan is? Ah, right. I'm talking to the right crowd here. So Joe Rogan is, for those of you who don't know, he's used to be the guy that was on Fear Factor, and he was a WWF wrestler or something other like that. You know, he's a podcaster now, and he has millions of viewers, and you cannot read this at all. So I'm going to tell you, this is what he loves floating, and Joe has sent us so much business. It's amazing. But this is his take on it. He says, it's like layers of an onion when you're first doing the isolation tank. You can only get a couple of layers of the onion, a couple of skins loose. You can't really get to the core. It's too hard. It's too hard to completely let go of who you are. But as you get better at it, and as you get more and more comfortable with the experience, you get better at actually letting go, really letting go, and then letting go from letting go, and then letting go from the feeling of letting go, and then letting go from that point. And then you think, okay, I've let go, but no, you haven't. You can let go even more. And then you become gone. You just disappear. And then you think, all right, I can't believe it, I'm disappearing. And then you're back again, and you have to start from square one. That's exactly my experience. You've got to let go and let go and let go until you get to the point where you've literally completely relaxed. And then he says, your body gives you amazing energy. The tension release you have from a couple of hours in the tank is incredible. You feel lighter. You feel like more oxygen is in your body. You feel more vibrant. And it's just because you have somehow or another calmed the tension. It's incredible. Everybody should do the tank. And so I agree with this completely, wholeheartedly. He is, yeah. So this is, actually, let's see here. Go one more. This right here is kind of the way that I see this in terms of creativity. Creativity is the way that we share our souls with the world. That's what Brene Brown said, that, but you can't read that either. Sorry, y'all. That's what that says. It's a beautiful image. But you know, the way that we share our souls, the way that we choose to share our souls with the world, you do that in a number of different creative ways. And for me personally, I've chosen to do it in this way. The one thing that we have to do at our shop is we have to provide space for people and to be there for them, regardless of what happens when they're in their session. Like I said, sometimes people come out and they've had very profound emotional experiences and they're not quite sure. They weren't expecting it. Because who knew that something as simple as water could do that to you? And so we are there to simply provide space in a safe, judgment-free space where people can experience that and then work through whatever they need to work through. So for me, I mentioned that water has taught me a lot and it means a lot to me, but probably not in the way that you think it does. This is what water means to me. To me, water is a way that I am able to be there for my community and to share this amazing thing with everybody so that hopefully they can have the same experience that I have had. And so, yeah, that's it.